LeBron for Cat, straight up. Who says no?
Who says yes?
Thank you.
Because LeBron
What does that give the Knicks?
gives them LeBron and gives them.
Based on what they're losing, what is don't get me wrong, LeBron's resume is unbelievable.
Yeah.
LeBron's also 40.
I know, but he's
So you get 1 year out of
sixth
LeBron.
in MVP or something.
You get 1 year out of LeBron. LeBron plays about as much defense as Cat, so I guess that's.
Well, he can turn it up more than Cat though, but
Can he?
I don't know, maybe.
I like this. I like where this episode's headed.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to This Must Be the Place. Today we have Austin Hollins, the Austin Hollins, professional basketball player, University of Minnesota alumni, NCAA champion. That's a lie.
That is definitely a lie.
You are, what's the other one?
NIT champion.
NIT champion. Incredible musician. Goes by the name Renaissance man. Does it all.
Yeah. Multi-hyphenate.
We multi-hyphenate. We tried to have you on while you were literally in a hotel room in Turkey.
Yeah.
Just signed a new contract, and I botched it. Well, your internet botched it. Turkey's internet botched it.
It was probably for the best.
Yes. So we were like, when you come back here this summer, we got to get you on. So we're not talking about neighborhoods today. We're not talking about restaurants. Maybe we'll talk about restaurants.
Yeah, we'll talk about food. We have to talk about food.
Yeah, but we're basically talking about whatever Austin wants to talk about. So
this must be the place. Yeah, this must be the place. Ain't no time to waste. Ain't no time to waste. So whether you in Minneapolis or St. Paul, Bloomington to Maple Grove, from the east side to the west side, down south to way up north, let me hear you say, this must be the place.
this is Austin Hollins. Austin, man, thanks for hanging out here all week with me, pretty much.
No
and thanks
problem,
for doing this.
Yeah, every time I call Casey for real estate, because, we're a partnership and we call each other all the time, he's like, I'm in the studio with Austin. I'm in the studio with Austin. So you guys have been busy.
Yeah, we have. I'm always glad to be here, I just like hanging out with Casey that much. So
Yeah, sure. 13 records in like a week or a week and a half.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Maybe like
That's a lot.
four sessions, maybe 4 or
That's a
5
lot.
sessions. Yeah.
Is that for like a upcoming proper LP kind of thing, or?
I got an
album
coming up on the way.
Nice.
So I'm excited. 13 tracks. So
I don't want to put like a box around the thing, but the reason I like it so much is 'cause Austin produces everything. And if the audience doesn't know, you came here to go to school, but you are from Memphis.
yeah, Memphis, Tennessee.
And so it has a lot of like organized noise, early Outkast, Goody Mob, like production-y feels and elements. And then like, I think naturally you just sort of bring like soul to it that has like that Southern baked in, even if it's not like you're trying to be Southern, or, you know what I mean? Because it doesn't feel like a Southern record, but it's got that like that soul and that feel.
I think it's from my church choir days.
Yeah, right. It's like it does. It has like a string of that throughout, and I love working on records like that. So I was telling him like, most of my clients don't listen, but I hate most of my clients. Hate them all. Love this
We're
guy.
gonna cut that.
No, I'm gonna leave it.
If somebody reaches out, he'll be like, not you.
I'm gonna leave it because they know I'm joking.
I was talking
man.
about someone else.
Yeah.
Whoever works out of this studio and works with me in real estate definitely knows that
They probably already know.
they know that I'm
If you didn't like them, you probably already told them. It's like, hey.
yeah, right. They know they're on the good team. They've made the pass.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, man, you just got back from a
Izmir,
season.
Turkey.
Izmir, Turkey.
Yeah.
Where's Izmir?
So Izmir
Geographically.
is like, I guess I would say like southwestern Turkey. It's on the water.
On the Mediterranean?
Yeah. So it's like, or the Aegean Sea, let's say.
Oh, sure.
Which
Aegean
is
Sea.
basically the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
And so if you go into that water, there's all the Greek islands there. It's like right across the water from Athens. So like we're sharing the same water there. So I mean like
Is it
Quick
like
plane
super
ride.
touristy?
Actually, it's not that touristy,
Sounds like a great place.
but they also have some other places along there. Bodrum is like a really touristy place. A lot of people go there, so that's probably more vacation spot than Izmir. Izmir's a little quieter.
Okay.
A little more like family-oriented place. Like,
I thought it was a big port city as well.
yeah, it is.
Okay.
It is. But it's a huge city.
And I told you this. Now you know this. It's where my dog's from.
Oh, yeah.
And
you
that's
did
why
tell
his
me that.
name's Izzy. Because he's from Izmir.
How'd you get a Turkish dog?
Facebook. A friend of mine from college has a friend who runs like a dog adoption agency on Facebook. And we had just lost our dog on Christmas, like the year before. And so we were like, let's get a new dog. We don't want something that sheds. This dog popped up on my Facebook feed. I forget what the dog's name was at that point. But like, super cute dog, gets a golden doodle. And we were like, perfect, show the kids. The kids are like, oh, this is a great dog, we love it. Come to find out, like with a little more research, the dog's in Turkey. And my kids are already like married to the idea of this dog.
Yeah.
So they pulled the dog off the street. They like send video of it eating like feta in a courtyard because like apparently it's very Mediterranean. So they're feeding it feta cheese. They're like, it's a sweet dog, but he's a cat killer. And we're like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's cool. Then they drive him up to Istanbul, vet the dog, make sure he's good to go from that perspective, stick him on a standby flight to Chicago.
Who's paying for all this?
Off,
You or the other?
He gets off in Chicago. They got volunteers that pick the dog up and drive him to La Crosse, Wisconsin, where we pick up Izzy at 1 a.m. And we're driving back with this smelly ass big dog who is not a golden doodle and the most shedding ass mofo.
I was going to say, I saw your dog last week.
He sheds like, bro, definitely not as advertised.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about the whole thing, he said, who pays for it? Like, we paid for it. You want to know what it costs? Take a guess.
$1,100.
What say you? I think I already told you.
$3,000.
Nah, man. $400, cheaper than the Humane Society.
Wow.
With tips. But
So-
not anymore because he's got a stomach like a goat from living on the streets at Izmir, eating whatever the hell he wants.
man.
So he's constantly at the vet for some gastrointestinal issues.
I know. I was on the phone with Casey last week, and he was talking about how he has to like shove his dog's anus back into his body cavity or something. Don't shake your head. You said those words,
Hold
man.
on, there's so much going on here. The dog.
Yeah.
You bought the dog on Facebook.
Yeah.
And
Shout out Tina.
And he has hemorrhoids.
No, it's a full-on prolapsed butt at this point. It's like a growth. It's like a golf ball that used to pop out. And then it's a whole thing, man. Like we wanted to get surgery because like they could take it out or whatever.
Is that bad?
Yeah, it's that bad. Like quality of life wasn't eating, lost 25 pounds. We make the dude's dog food. Like,
man.
So we take him in and they're like about to put him on the surgery table and like, oh, by the way, he's got an arrhythmia. We can't do surgery. And so we take him back. We're like, we don't care if he has an arrhythmia. Like Jesus, take the wheel. Like this dog, like if he makes it, he makes it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Like,
Man.
But now that's 2 years. They just refuse to call us back at the vet. No shout out Como Park Animal Hospital.
You're banned.
You're banned from the pod. And yeah, so like it's horrible, man. We gotta like we gotta push the dude's butt back in his body like once a day.
What kind of food do you make him?
I'll do it. So my cousins.
Again, we have a professional basketball player guest that we're not.
my
So
cousins.
first thing in the morning, it's just
Yeah, it's right back in.
We do have some gloves and some Aquifer on the ready. My cousins saw my son take the food out of his cousins saw them take the food out of the fridge and get ready to put it. And he goes, fried rice. Let me get some of that. Because it looks like fried rice. It's basically rice, like sweet potatoes, carrots, peas, and turkey all mashed up. It's delicious.
and he ate it.
Oh, he eats. He loves it.
Man,
But that's my Izmir story.
that's hilarious.
That's a good
Let's
one.
talk about
That's-
basketball.
Yeah, we can move on from the dog booty holes and
Yeah,
popping
that's
out.
probably
but,
wise.
But that is pretty
It's
crazy.
something.
I mean, you have a unique dog, Izmir, from Izmir.
That's right.
You got a cool story to tell.
I got a
with
cool
it.
story
I mean,
to tell. The neighborhood knows him. He was an escape artist, so he would climb trees to jump out of the house and run the ravines in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And the neighbors all knew him as like the Turk, because we sent out a little email to the neighborhood, like, you might find this dog running around. He's from Turkey. I know him as the Turkish dog. He looks like he's Turkish.
You should have told me. I would have brought you. I would have brought you one back.
Another dog? There are a crazy amount of dogs there on the street, aren't there?
They're everywhere.
Are they really?
Dogs and cats.
Yeah.
Everywhere. I mean, like if you go to a restaurant and you're sitting outside, cats are just walking along like through the restaurant trying to get food, and it's crazy. So,
Where was your favorite place to play?
ooh man.
Well,
That's
first
tough.
let's
right.
list them off, because you've been a lot. You've been from Israel up into Finland. No.
Yeah.
Finland,
So
Turkey, Serbia.
I'll start at the beginning. So I started my career in northern France, small town, second division.
This is like 10 years ago.
Yeah. So this was 2014.
Okay.
I started in northern France in a city called Dinant. Real small town.
Yeah.
Fans were great though. The arena was really small. I mean, it was second division France, but it was a lot of fun. I did 2 years there, and then after that, I went to Finland, even smaller town. I mean, I'm in a town of 13,000 people in Finland,
Wow.
and it's
With a pro ball team.
and it's
Crazy.
freezing cold. And honestly, I had a great experience there, but it was really small town. We had a good team. The coach was good. My teammates were all cool. I still keep in contact with some of those guys.
How many black people were in Finland?
Living there?
Yeah, just in that town.
It's funny. There was one African dude that lived there, and I don't know if he played on the team like a long time before
He
that.
was like, fuck it, I'm here.
But he used to come to the games, and we used to be like, who is this guy? There's nobody. He's the only black guy in the whole city outside of us.
Yeah.
So that was a cool experience. And then from Finland, I went to Germany. I was right outside of Frankfurt in a city called Gießen.
Okay.
And then from there, I went to northern Germany in a town called Fechta. And then after that season in Fechta, that's when I had that was like my big break. That was like my breakout season.
Okay.
And that's when I went to go play in the EuroLeague. I went to Russia, St. Petersburg.
Okay.
So I was in St. Petersburg for 2 years.
Okay.
That was a great experience, actually. St. Petersburg is like an amazing city.
Yeah.
I heard
like-
it's incredible
unbelievable.
with the
History.
history and the
Yeah.
architecture and
It's cold, but I mean, it's got canals all through the city.
Yeah.
It's right on the sea, the Baltic Sea. Like you said, the architecture, unbelievable.
Really?
It's
Borscht and pierogies or whatever.
yeah, literally eating like borscht and stuff.
Yeah.
I actually learned to like it.
Did you really?
I actually like borscht. It was good.
Oh, okay.
what is borscht? It's like beets.
It's like
mashed
beets.
like beets.
Beet soup.
It's like but they use like this tomato paste in there and stuff,
Okay.
and then
And
they
they put,
put like
like,
meat
sour
in there,
cream or
sour
something?
cream, and they
Yeah.
use like meat they put in there.
Oh, okay.
So it's like
like a chili, like
Yeah.
a beet chili.
a little
It's
bit.
hearty.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good. So 2 years in Russia, and then from there I went to Belgrade,
Serbia.
and Serbia, and that was
You said the fans there are
the
built different.
basketball there. Is
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
I mean, when
And
you talk
Belgrade's
about,
a
like-
huge city too, right?
Yeah. When you talk about fan culture in Europe, it doesn't get much better than that. Like if you go online and look at like the derby matches between the two teams, that
I
are in
have
Belgrade,
done that.
It's-
It's like fans are on their feet chanting like they're in an English Premier League soccer match.
I mean, we were playing in the domestic league finals, or not the domestic league. It's called the ABA League. It's an Adriatic league, so it's teams in Bosnia, Serbia, Croatia, and like just the whole region.
Sure.
And we were playing in the finals against the other team in Belgrade, and like I said, like people get really like amped up for this.
Yeah.
We had home court advantage. We win the first 2 games, and we go into game 3. There was like a altercation in game 2.
Yeah.
So now keep in mind, we play in the same arena. They just switched the court out,
Okay.
and the opposing fans are not allowed in the arena. So when you're in the arena, if you're home, it's all your fans. If it's an away game, it's all of their fans.
Seriously?
And what
Yeah.
about when you play each other?
That's
Shit
what.
hits the fan.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
Oh, they
only,
don't. They never mix it.
No.
If they go based on home and away,
Yeah.
crazy.
And that's
'Cause if they
I'm
mix
sure
it,
that's based
because
on
of like
there
yeah,
will be blood.
shit
Yeah.
that's happened in the past.
Yeah, it's like a safety thing.
Wow.
So they've got like the riot police all outside when you walk in the building, just ready. And I remember game 3, we come out.
It's a series?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the finals for the Obby
Yeah.
League.
Best of 7 or best of 5?
Best of 5.
Okay, so you're in game 3, so
Yeah.
you're getting to the nitty gritty.
So we run out in the court and they're throwing stuff at you, coins, lighters. They're just throwing stuff on the
You're
floor.
kidding.
And we're the first team to run out onto the floor.
Yeah.
We get to the center of the court, we bring it in, we got our hands in.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like, I kind of got my head down, and through the huddle, I can see something like bouncing across the floor. And it was like bright. And I was like, what is that? And all of a sudden you hear, boom. And we're like, oh. And you look around and you're like, what is going on? And everyone like got startled. But then my teammates, they just go into the layup line. So I'm like,
They're used to it.
and I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay. So I go into the layup line. Like a few minutes later, boom. And I'm like, oh no, this is different. They're like throwing flash bombs onto the court. I think there were like 3 of them before the game started.
Wow.
And I mean, it was just like it's like a hostile environment, but it's so much fun to play in.
I bet, man.
It's so much fun to play in. That's probably my favorite place to play basketball in terms of the fans. And I played for a couple of other teams that have amazing fans,
yeah.
but it's just different.
What
It's
about the
just
people
different.
outside of basketball there? Like when you're not playing and you're just out in the city, do you get time to enjoy the places that you play in? Or is it just like work, practice, travel?
I mean,
done?
you have time, but you're going to have to force yourself out a little bit. Because during the season, I mean, we're playing sometimes 3 games in a week, but we're
Yeah.
also traveling like through Europe. So you come home and it's like you get a little free time to do something, and you're like, okay, I
watch a
want
movie or
to relax and rest. It's not. So I kind of like force myself to get out when I'm in a city sometimes. Not
Sure.
all the time, but you gotta like embrace where you're at.
Sure.
That's what I learned in my career. You gotta embrace where you're at if you
Sure.
want to appreciate and experience the culture there.
Yeah.
So yeah, Belgrade was awesome. That was awesome.
What I found interesting when we were talking, I think we were talking a couple days ago about this, is I always thought EuroLeague basketball, they play 30-some games.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear a lot of commentators in the NBA and podcast people say, oh, well, and I'll use Yabusele as an example, right? Midway through the season, he hit his wall because he's not used to playing this many games.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, man, that's not true at all. Because in addition to the EuroLeague games you play your
Yeah,
local
yeah.
league or something like that. So you're playing more like 50-some games probably.
Yeah.
And you're traveling, and so like an NBA schedule, maybe by the time you get way deep into the playoffs is a big difference, but it's not as huge of a difference between 30-some games and 82 games as there is between 60 games and that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I found that because I didn't know that at all.
It's definitely, I mean, the season over there is so much longer though too. So let's say we start training camp in August. So let's say mid-August. You
Yeah.
go for a month, let's say before the season actually starts. So you've got, your training camp is like 6 weeks. Training camp is 6 weeks, and that's including like preseason games. So let's say you go to like a preseason tournament. You might play 6 or 7 games, maybe even more, 7 or 8 games in the preseason.
Oh, wow.
And then you start the season. Like you said, you got the international league that you're playing in, EuroLeague. So you're traveling across Europe playing teams. And then you're playing teams in your country, which if you live in a big country, the travel is, like in Russia, traveling to play those games was,
We just have to travel to Moscow?
yeah.
Wow.
And we even went, we went into like Siberia. There's a team that's like in
Damn,
Siberia.
Dude,
We played a
you'd be
team.
happy you didn't fuck up. You would have been in the gulag. You and Brittany would have been hanging out.
Hey. We went to Kazakhstan. There's a team in Kazakhstan.
Really?
So we were going to like we would fly at nighttime. I remember this trip. We're we're at the airport to fly the night before the game, and the flight got delayed, and it's like a 5-hour flight plus the time change. So we get in at like 6, 7 in the morning, go to the hotel, eat, take a nap, and then you go play the game because it was like an early game.
That's crazy.
And it was just insane. You're just exhausted, and you're like,
Are you a good plane sleeper? I'd imagine you are.
I can definitely fall asleep on the plane. I can't stay asleep on the plane. I'll wake up. So I'll fall asleep, wake up, and I'll force myself back asleep. Like,
Is it mostly charter flights through Europe, or is it ever bus or rail?
when I was in France playing, we bussed everywhere.
Okay.
And I remember we had like a 9-10 hour bus ride.
Wow.
One time, yeah.
I have a question because my son is an aviation geek, commercial aviation geek. What has been your favorite airline to fly? Do you have a favorite?
Interesting.
See, you come with the good questions.
Yeah.
I mean, in the U.S., I like flying Delta. And that's just because I've had the least amount of issues with Delta.
Yeah.
Some people have had a lot of issues with Delta, so they don't like Delta.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I hated flying United and American for a while because I just remember like they had like lost my bags or something had happened.
Yeah.
It's usually some kind of experience that you have with the airline that makes you feel a certain type of way towards it. But I don't mind flying any of those airlines now. But overseas,
Yeah, overseas too. Yeah.
I think
Ryanair.
Ryanair is terrible.
I know.
Yeah.
My son tells me that. He shows me videos about how they rough land or whatever, and
Yeah.
I'm like, that looks awful.
Yeah.
It's like they just put like a piece of like cardboard as the back of the seat.
My wife's like, it's $40 a ticket. You can go all
Exactly.
over Europe. You're like, yeah. And
Yeah, you won't be doing much else after you got the plane.
Yeah.
Your knees are gonna be so bad by the time you get off of there. It's
Is like Emirates. Have you flown like Emirates or?
No, but my brother has flown Emirates, and he swears that it is an amazing experience.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, you have to just
That's what my
one
son-
time, just
my
one
son
time, you
says
got to
that.
fly Emirates."
what
Yeah.
about Singapore? Those are the
I
other
haven't done that
commercials
one.
I see that make it look real cool. To
Yeah.
fly.
Yeah, I've
They
heard
don't
it.
tell you it's $9,000 for a first class ticket.
All right. What about airports? Favorite domestic airport?
Man,
MSP is pretty good.
Well, that's what
MSP is good.
I would say MSP, but I haven't flown. I mean, I've flown places, but not all
Yeah.
over the United States.
Yeah.
MSP is, especially now, the way they worked it out, is pretty great.
Chicago's not bad.
O'Hare?
Denver's airport is pretty good.
Okay.
Portland just had a full renovation done on their airport,
Okay.
which is pretty cool.
What about international?
Oh yeah, there's some good. Amsterdam has an amazing airport.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been in it, but only for layovers.
Can you buy weed at the airport?
No, I don't think you can.
I just didn't know. Would they have a red light district in the airport?
If they did, there would be a lot of people missing their
Flight
a lot of
delayed
people missing their
because
flights.
of exotic dancing session.
The captain's running a little late. Running a little late today.
No
We're not
reason
sure
given.
exactly
No
where he is,
reason
but
given.
we think he overslept.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So after Belgrade,
So
how did you end up where you are now?
So after Belgrade, I went to Tel Aviv.
Okay.
With Maccabi Tel Aviv, and
That's a big team. Like every
yeah.
international team. I think they played a preseason game at Target Center.
Yeah.
Recently.
So this was like that team, and honestly, this was a really tough decision for me to make because I really liked Belgrade, and
Yeah.
I loved the team, the organization, the city, and the people. And it was awesome. But I was like, man, this is an opportunity that I've been waiting for to go and play for like a Maccabi or like a Real Madrid. Like those are teams that like I had dreamed of like playing of over there. So
Sure.
So, you know, I took the opportunity, and I do not regret it at all. But that season I had, I started having some knee issues early on in the season. And then like halfway through the season, I tore my patellar tendon. And it was just like, it was like, man. And honestly, my knee issues had gotten so bad to the point that when the patellar tendon tore, it wasn't immediate like remorse. It was kind of like, well, this is what I needed in order to like rehab my knee. Like I needed it to tear because it wasn't in good shape by that point.
So it was just going the whole
Yeah.
season, and finally you were playing through it and you popped.
Like early in the season, everything was fine, and then probably like a month into the season, it just started hurting pretty bad.
First time you dealt with injuries?
Serious injury, yeah. That was my first serious injury. So it was tough. It was 9 months recovery coming back from that. And from there, I went to Zalgiris, which is in Kaunas, Lithuania, which is small town, but this is another place where like basketball culture is unbelievable. The fans are amazing. Their arena is like an NBA arena. They have the best arena in all of Europe,
Crazy.
I think.
In Lithuania.
Yeah, they have the best arena in all of Europe.
Are there any famous Lithuanian NBA players that I can't think of?
Absolutely. Valanciunas,
Oh, Jonas. He's a Nugget now. He got traded yesterday.
Sabonis,
Which one?
Do-
Arvidas?
oh, Domas?
Arvidas.
both of them.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
his
yeah.
son.
That dude,
Domantas.
I swear to God.
Domantas is the
Arvidas
son
was-
of Arvidas, yeah.
Yeah.
That dude he would have been one of the all-time greats if he was in
Yeah.
the NBA.
Earlier,
That's,
and his knees. I think it was his knees,
It was
right?
his whole body. That dude was a mammoth.
Oh, man.
Well,
I
and
just
he
remember
was
him throwing
and he
passes
was
that were just bananas back then.
and he was smoking 3 cigarettes at halftime.
He probably was.
I've
He
had some
probably was.
teammates that smoke like right before a game.
Dude, we used to, I remember growing up, like you play basketball outside.
Yeah.
Right? Like you hooped outside all
Yeah.
summer. It wasn't AAU, it wasn't
No.
build a player indoors. It was like the athletes and the cream of the crop played
On the asphalt.
on the asphalt.
Yeah.
It was part of the culture, it was part of the game. But in any run, you'd have fresh out of high school kids running with 35-year-old dudes who in the middle of the
Yeah.
game would pop out, smoke cigarette, and then hop right back in. Like I remember that vividly. It was not like a one-off, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It just doesn't happen anymore in these LA fitness leagues.
Not for real. Not
Yeah.
for real. But yeah, that was a fun experience. I was only there for a month. I was on a tryout there.
Okay.
Coming back from this injury, and then I ended up not making the team, and that's when I went to Athens. I was in Athens for 5 months with a team, and then from there I went to Turkey. So
Okay, and that's where you've been since?
yeah.
How long did it take you to get back to where you trusted your knee to allow you to play carefree and not, or are you to that point?
Honestly, it took. I mean, like I trust my knee fully now. It probably took about a year after recovery, after I had recovered, to really like feel comfortable like doing everything on it.
Sure.
I think now the issue is I've been having problems with like my hip and like other parts of my body that are like, and it's a lot of it is wear and tear.
Sure.
And so
10
it's
years
just
of
like,
pro ball.
Yeah. So it's just like, man, you start seeing the older you get, the maintenance becomes more than like actually playing.
Sure.
It's like, okay, we practice for an hour and a half, 2 hours. I need an hour and a half before practice to like get my body ready to practice. And then I need an hour after practice to go and do treatment and do all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And you got to be relentless about it. We were talking about LeBron earlier.
exactly.
But I mean, that dude is famous for the money and effort and time that he puts into recovery, and treatment,
hyperbaric chambers and
I mean,
stuff.
this steroids.
That dude, I wouldn't say that I'm a huge LeBron fan, but I definitely have a ton of respect for LeBron because, especially at that level, it doesn't matter like what you think about him. In order to play at that level for as long as he has, as consistent as he has been, you have to be disciplined to doing what you have to do.
Yeah.
And you can't. And at his age, you can't really take time off because once you take time off, it's like, all right, now it's retirement because it's hard.
He was
getting
a
back.
rookie in like 04. He was in the 04 draft, I think, which is insane to say.
Would you ever? Yeah. Would you ever work in basketball after playing? Like I know, obviously, music. You'd prefer to make music I asked you what you had more fun doing, and at this point you were like, I love making music. Would you ever consider working on the like front office side of a team, or the scouting side of a team, or the talent
Does your dad do that?
So my dad, he was coaching. He coached.
Yeah, he was head coach for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, so he played in the NBA for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then he was assistant coaching for a long time.
Yeah.
And then, he had 5-year run as the head coach with the Grizzlies.
That was back in like the Zebo days, right?
Yeah. Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
That was like,
it's a good team.
That was
a fun team.
That was exciting.
Yeah.
That was exciting. So, I always tell people, and I've been adamant about this for a long time, that I did not want to coach. And I knew that I would probably get to a point where I would consider it. And I still don't really want to coach.
Yeah.
But I'm at a point now where I feel like I need to at least give it a try.
Sure.
And
my kids are ready.
Figure see, at least give it a try and see how I like it. I was talking to, it's fine. Y'all know Troy Bell.
Yeah, of
He's from
course.
here.
Holy Angels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to him one day, and he was asking me if I ever wanted to coach, and I was like, I'm not. He's like, I said the same thing. He was like, don't count it out. Even if you don't end up doing it, don't count it out. He's like, you have a PhD in basketball. He's like, how many people have the experience that you have in basketball? He was like, and when you get finished playing, you're going to want a steady income coming in. So that's a way to, if there's another avenue, sure, I would like to explore those, but I'm not opposed to coaching just because I feel like there's a lack of good coaching these days.
Yeah.
And every time I see like that, it just kind of makes me cringe a little bit. It's like, man, like, what is going on?
Because like the Knicks fire Tibbs, and you're like, okay, I guess I get it, but then the counter is, who the hell do we hire now?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, who's the next best coach?
But it goes all the way down. I would imagine you're talking about even the high school, AAU high school, collegiate level, let alone in the pros.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lack of good coaching and development from kids. And I think you have more of a unique perspective on that because of your time in
overseas,
Europe than a lot of people do in the
That's
States.
a good point, Casey.
Who grow up in this system and think this system, they hear the stuff about it being a business or, a factory. But it is like when you see it and see how kids are developed here and being in the middle of it right now, where it's like all single skill, solo, get a bucket development, which is great.
We've had these conversations,
but
in
it's
here.
not.
I have a unscientific theory that I have shared with Casey many times.
I think I shared it with him.
Oh, okay. Where I think your perspective would be so fresh and innovative because my theory, it's not a theory because I see it. I keep seeing these dudes go down with Achilles tears in the NBA. They all share one thing in common. They're Americans. I have yet to find, of the last 15 NBA Achilles tears, a non-American. So then my brain is like, well, what is that? Why? And then I start non-scientifically coming up with answers to my questions, which is, it must be the way that they've been playing their whole lives compared to the way the rest of the world, and most specifically Europe, plays, where it's more probably about practicing as a team and less about individual drills and just working, never stopping.
The American,
maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but I think your perspective would be good on that.
Yeah,
I do have a, and I did see this take online, and this was
you didn't. Is my original take.
Not that take. Not that take.
Good.
Not that take.
I was just kidding anyway.
And this was probably the most interesting take I had seen on this. And basically it was that our bodies are not built for playing basketball.
That's where I was going to go.
They're not built for that type of intense, like your knees aren't built for that, to just running them into the ground like that.
Yeah.
So basically injuries are a part of the game, and the game has evolved to a point where it's like, okay, the game used to be a lot slower. It used to be guys that, you had big men down low that were really like strong and like back you down, and there were a lot of like ACLs and knee injuries. But now the game is a lot of like run and gun, this and that. So now you see a lot more like Achilles injuries because guys are, it takes a lot more energy to be doing all that running up and down, and your body is not necessarily built for all that. And then, like you said, like the fast twitch muscles and everything, like you just take off and go, and that stuff just happens sometimes.
Maybe you can tell me I'm wrong here, but it also seems like American basketball values superior athleticism over like
skill.
You just look at Jokic, for example, versus like, or guys that you would pick over him if they were side by side, right? If you didn't know the skill set that they possessed, right? You would 10 out of 10 times choose the guy with the higher upside, supreme athleticism, 40-inch vertical, you know what I mean? And a lot of those guys put themselves in positions probably for injury because...
Like if you saw like Larry Nance Jr.
Because of how
Jokic.
explosive they are.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that they can have 45-inch verticals. I mean, you get to a point in your career where if that's your only thing and you're still trying to do that beyond when your body's going to allow you to do that something's got to give, you know?
Absolutely.
So I don't know.
No, I agree with that for sure. I mean, I think about guys like Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Like early in his career, his game was just, and he was an unbelievable player.
Yeah.
But a lot of his game was like him being really explosive.
Yes.
And as he got like older, he's still pretty explosive for his age.
For his age, he sure is.
But not like he was when he was
Derrick
younger.
Rose.
Yeah. Another one.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's amazing to me that Westbrook hasn't been injured with how he plays the game for over a decade, you know?
I think some of to the point about the injuries, I think some of it also has to do with how guys are taking care of their bodies as they. I know when we were growing up, there's two things to it. One is I mentioned this to you one day. There's a lot of guys like resting and sitting out, which is good, but also the NBA seasons are so intense and the playoffs are even more intense that if you don't prepare your body for that intensity, it's good to rest, but I think there is an element of it to where you have to prepare your body for that type of intensity.
Yeah.
Or you're just asking to get hurt.
He was talking shit on Joel Embiid.
I probably was.
He's
a little
to be a
different,
fly
though.
on the
He's a
wall
little
in the
different.
room where Casey's defending Joel Embiid is a.
I can't.
Those
I
Philly
can't
fans.
defend.
I know.
Listen, man. I can't defend the fact that he will probably never be capable of playing 110 games or whatever you need to play to make it through the playoffs in one season. But I can defend the fact that dude has played through so much injury and heartbreak and pain and personal loss and whatever that I will never question his heart. It's about his body failing him, not about him failing the city of Philadelphia or failing him.
I'm not saying that.
That's the take that I bring to it.
Is that your objective take, or is that your?
It's my objective
Philly fan
take. When you don't play your first 2 years after a broken back of your college season, when your little brother dies, when you push through and come back and put yourself in the conversation as top 3 basketball players in the world consistently, play through Bell's palsy, 3 broken faces, multiple leg injuries. When you do that year after year after year in a league and a city in particular in Philly where the media is relentless, you haven't failed anybody in your effort. So he might not have the disposition of a leader. He might not be, I'll use another Philadelphia athlete as an example. He might not be Jalen Hurts in terms of his public-facing image and saying the right thing and doing the right thing and being a guy who will carry his team. He might not be that.
Okay.
But he's certainly not a quitter or a guy who doesn't give his all. That's my take.
That's
and if
fair.
you disagree, you suck as a person. And
He's
you
just
don't
not good
know
enough.
basketball.
That's the thing. Sorry, buddy.
He's just not good
He's
enough.
just not good enough.
You're trying to press buttons.
I don't.
And I'm not going for it. I'm not going for it.
But we've officially reached the point in the podcast where, because my wife consistently tells me, she's like, I just tune out when you talk about sports and real estate, and I love the other stuff.
Well, this whole pod is not for her then.
It's not for her. But I wanted to just maybe like either pivot to like music briefly or like food you've eaten in Europe, because this is a food focused podcast.
I also
We could talk
wanna
about
hear
both of these things.
What places you like in Minneapolis? What are your favorite neighborhoods here? Because this really is like, it's not your home, but you're here a lot.
This is true.
It's kind of like your second home, third home, maybe. I don't know. One of your homes, vacation home.
It's definitely a second.
How
home.
often are you back in the States usually? Like 6 months a year? Or not that much?
No. Well, now a little more than usual, but most of the time I'm not here, but like 2-3 months.
Oh, wow.
And he's in the studio a month of that.
Sun up to sundown.
The last few years I've been. I've definitely been. I mean, that was the first. I think was that 2. That was like 2 years ago. That was like my first time coming in the studio and recording something.
Okay.
Me and my buddy came in here, and after that, I just caught the bug.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I gotta.
So
get
you
back in there.
you go under, what's your recording name?
So
Or
my
stage
recording name is Preach.
Preach.
Yeah.
Preach.
Yeah.
Look it up. Listen.
Tying it back to the church vibe. I mean,
Yeah.
although I don't want to
little
call
bit.
it a church vibe because it's not a church vibe.
No, just the song called Church.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good song.
So musically, it's like, is it like kind of hip hop, but is more like, sounds like the way Casey's putting it is more like a little throwback vibes.
It's hard
Throwbacks. I mean, I don't want to
Put yourself in a box.
I don't want to label you, but
No, I mean, I totally understand because, like, when I post this stuff online, they're like, all right, what's the genre? And it's like, okay, yes, it's hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Most of it is hip hop. Mm-hmm. But when you listen to it, it's like, okay, yeah, it is hip hop, but there's so many different elements to it. It's hard to, like, put it in one, like, category. I mean, because there's a lot of singing on there, too. Like, I don't know. And like you said, like,
uplifting, introspective hip hop music with soul, rock, and church and southern elements that leaves you not only thinking, but also feeling and also
grooving.
grooving. You got to come with, you need the elevator pitch.
There's a
he hit
reason.
the nail on the head.
You need the elevator pitch. I hated doing it for me. Hated it. I can kind of do it for other people. But you got to have that 2-sentence thing where you can.
I'm just going to bring you with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Hype man.
Hype man.
48-year-old.
48-year-old
hype man.
Flavor Flav.
They're going to be like, what? How would you describe your music? I'm going to be like, Casey,
Tell them.
let them know.
Well,
So go on to Spotify. Give Austin your 10th of a penny for every listen
yes.
that you get.
I think
Put it on a
made,
loop.
I think I've made 50 cents now.
Yeah,
so
put it
maybe
on a
not
loop.
even that.
Next album, we're shooting for the hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
This next one is a lot more singing than
It is a lot more singing.
Nice.
I feel like it's overall more consistent in its production quality too. I feel like as a producer, you've grown in terms of sound choices and arrangement and and seeing the whole song exist before it actually exists.
Yeah,
which is a
yeah.
good thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So I'm definitely excited about that upcoming project. So yeah, the music is definitely a big part of me. It's funny because a lot of people don't know that Austin Hollins and Preach are the same person. Mm-hmm. Because it's not something that I like just go online and I'm just talking about all the time. Like I post my music online, but I'm not like, hey, I'm Preach.
Yeah.
So today I'm like, hey, I'm Preach.
Yeah.
Like the people that don't know, like that is me. It's not like a friend that I'm posting about.
Preach is the superhero.
One of those-
Austin is the Bruce Wayne.
If you want to go full Preach, man, you're gonna have to kill off Austin Hollins for a little while.
Dang.
You know, I recently watched the Pee Wee Herman documentary, and he struggled with that.
Was it good?
It was great. It was great.
I didn't watch it.
But like, it was a point where he tried to be both,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Oh, this isn't working." And then it got to the point where nobody knew who Paul
Rubens.
was.
Dang.
It was all Pee Wee Herman, and then even that started to mess with him. It messed with me back in the day. I was like, I don't want to be golden. Like call me Casey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it messed with me. I didn't like
It's
it.
like Drake.
Drake is a
Aubrey.
Drake either way.
Aubrey.
Yeah.
Aubrey.
Aubrey and Drake are the same.
Oh, we could talk about the food.
Let's talk about the food.
Let's talk about the food.
Yeah. What? So Mediterranean wise, what's been your favorite? Because you've been in Athens, you've been in like coastal Turkey.
Yeah.
You've been in France, although you said you were in northern France. But like Mediterranean wise, like what's been your favorite spot? What are your favorite foods?
It's tough. Athens, the food in Athens was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, like Greece generally. Like I remember I took a trip to the islands, and you go to the restaurant and they've got like grilled octopus, and it's amazing. I mean, like it's the food. The food is just, you can just tell that it's so fresh and
Fresh. That's the
I mean, even like they call them chips or potatoes, but they're French fries.
Yeah.
It's just a regular French fry, but when it tastes like it's just like made from scratch. It doesn't taste like it's like some BS. Like it
Love
tastes like
it.
tastes like it didn't take a plane ride and sat in the freezer and then.
like they really took some potatoes and just like fried them right there.
Yeah.
Like, and it's so.
And are these like carts, roadside stands, or are you going into restaurants, or like when you're talking about like the grilled octopus or whatever?
These are like restaurants.
Okay.
But they're not like, some of them are like nice restaurants, but some of them are just like pretty average restaurants that you wouldn't expect like anything. And you walk in there and they bring the plate to you and you're like, oh man, this looks good. Looks healthy, looks fresh. So Athens was definitely probably the best. Tel Aviv, I mean,
Really?
they have similar
similar
cuisine.
Mediterranean.
Yeah.
I
sort of-
suppose.
yep.
I suppose.
So,
But
like-
I hear Tel Aviv, and you don't really associate that with like.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about
Cuisine.
like Arabic food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
is
They got
all.
the-
It's very similar. Like
They got the shakshuka.
yeah,
Shakshuka.
Man.
You love a good
And
shakshuka?
some hummus.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, they had some good stuff.
What's your favorite? Like you could eat anything today, from anywhere. What are you choosing? Is it that Mediterranean type healthy, fresh stuff, or is it like a dripping cheeseburger with cheese and
I mean,
a fried egg over the top with bacon?
who doesn't like a cheeseburger like that?
I
come
mean-
on. But Mediterranean is like probably my favorite. Right?
Is it?
It's because you're an athlete too, so
Yeah.
you gotta like stay in.
As much as I love a good burger,
Yeah.
I can get like a good tasty meal and still be eating pretty healthy.
Have you
doing
had a
that
Juicy
Mediterranean.
Lucy at Matt's bar?
Actually, yes.
Did you like it?
I love a good Juicy Lucy.
Yeah.
They're like, and
Have you had the Nook
the Nook
in
was.
St. Paul?
I don't think. No, I haven't had a ton of St. Paul restaurants.
all right.
Honestly,
Okay.
I don't get out there too often.
Do you guys want to know something I read that Casey's going to hate that I think is hilarious?
Does it have to
About
do with
between Minneapolis and St. Paul?
I'm a St. Paul guy. He's a Minneapolis.
I'm Minneapolis.
guy.
He's St. Paul. St. Paul and Minneapolis have an intense, heated rivalry of which only St. Paul is aware. Which is pretty good.
Interesting.
They said St. Paul's like the
That writer was clearly from Minneapolis.
the
Doesn't matter.
St. Paul's like the elegant little sister
Yeah.
of Minneapolis.
Yeah.
They said. Like it's like artsy. It's got like good restaurants. It's underrated, but Minneapolis
we
is
have,
like
we
the
have Moxie. That's what they call it.
Gumption.
Minneapolis is like the like rowdy older brother.
I would say
Yeah.
Minneapolis is
I like
like the smarmy white liberal, and St. Paul is like the down to earth
Yeah. St. Paul's
working guy kind of.
much more culturally diverse than Minneapolis.
I don't.
What about Finland? Talk to us about Finnish food. I would have no idea.
You don't even know.
I'm
about
gonna
Finnish
be
food.
honest
What is
with
it?
you.
You weren't there that long.
It's like dry toast and vegetables.
It's not good.
Yeah.
There's two local cuisines that are not very good.
Haggis.
And Russia's
Oh,
one.
that's Scotland, bro.
Russia's pretty close to Finland, so it makes
Oh,
sense.
sure.
Okay.
They share a
All right.
border. That's
But-
right. Up on the north. Yeah.
But as a matter of fact, Helsinki's like 3 hours from St. Petersburg.
Damn.
By train.
I did not know that.
So the food there was not good. I mean, like in the wintertime, it's just straight root vegetables.
Yeah.
The worst ones. It's just beets and
Rutabagas.
yeah. You're like, what? Can I get some broccoli?
Yeah, right? What about like Serbia and like Lithuania, like in the Balkans? Like,
Are
what are
those
they?
that's more Mediterranean, right?
Oh, it's,
no?
but it's more north, right?
No,
It
it's
is.
north of that, but I just didn't know cuisine-wise.
Yeah, I don't either.
The only thing that they take from like the Balkan area, because Greece is, I consider, I mean, Greece is Balkan.
Sure.
So like all the Balkan countries, they're like protein heavy. So like they're doing like chicken and steak and sausages and like whatever it is, like meat wise, like the Balkans, they're like barbecuing and grilling, like they do that. So like Serbia and all those areas, like Croatia, they're like big on like bread and carbs and protein.
Okay.
It's less like Mediterranean
I can
and
mess with
more
that.
and more of that, but it's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. So, but yeah, definitely less Mediterranean. It's probably not as healthy as like Mediterranean because they're so much farther away from like the water. If you go to Croatia and you're like right on the, or like Montenegro and you're there on the water, you can get some like more like Mediterranean.
What about France? Even in the small towns,
I'll be honest with you,
bread and butter.
and this is
And cheese.
an unpopular opinion to people that don't know, but the food in France is terrible.
Ooh.
And there is good food in France, but the majority is not very
trash.
good.
Wow.
They have it's either good or there's no like in
Tag
between.
this.
Well, that would explain why the French restaurant Casey and I met at closed a few years after it opened.
I will say this though.
That was poor management.
I will say
dare
this
you.
though. And this is and I apologize to all my French friends, but food, they probably know it though. But you cannot find a better bread anywhere. There's some good bread
I was
places,
gonna
but
say,
when
man,
it
give
comes
me
to
a
like,
croissant
if
and
you
give me a
get-
baguette with some butter, and I'm good.
we used to get these like baguette sandwiches. It wasn't anything crazy. It was just a baguette. They put butter on there
Yeah,
and
ham
like
and
some
cheese or something.
cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we used to get these after the games. They would give us
Yeah.
these. And I used to look forward to those
Really?
baguette sandwiches.
And
It
it's
was
like nothing to them.
It's
It's just
nothing.
like
Yeah. But I used to go to this bakery after practice every day, and they had these like the croissants with the chocolate in it. They call it pain chocolat.
Yeah.
And if you get 3, you get 1 free. So I'll get 6, and I'll go home with 8 chocolate croissants, and it's like a 10, 15-minute drive. And by the time I get home, I only got like 3 or 4 left.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
That sounds
And they're
amazing.
hot and soft, like right out the oven. I mean, like, when
That
it comes to
sounds great.
bread,
They got
they
it.
do not miss.
What
They've
about
got it.
Germany? Like northern Germany? Is it like sausages
Schnitzel
and
They do have some fire schnitzel.
Yeah.
But like, I actually like German food. German food is good. It's not amazing and it's not bad.
Okay.
It's just kind of like it's solid. Like,
All right, so
German
where does
food is
Minnesota
solid.
fit into this list?
Man, honestly, Minnesota's got a really good culinary scene.
Yeah.
It's come up though over the years.
It
It
has.
wasn't always like that.
No.
They
We have this conversation a lot.
Yeah.
Last 15 years.
Yeah, they've taken off. I mean, like you've got, I like, and this is just like kind of a random restaurant in Northeast, but I like Sidebar, right there next to Certix.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't been there.
That's newish.
It's newish.
Newer, yeah.
Maybe
It's
like
pretty good.
2 years ago?
Yeah.
3 years
Yeah,
ago?
it's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
And then obviously you
Shout
have
out
like,
Certix. We haven't talked about Certix
We
before.
haven't. We've been talking about South Lindale Liquors a lot.
Yeah.
It's a pretty similar type situation.
Yeah.
Certix is OG.
Yeah, it is OG for
Certix
sure.
is-
He eats at Komerchek's a lot.
Oh,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
that place is the best sandwich.
Yeah.
The
He
best
likes sandwiches.
sandwich.
I love the cherry bomb brats.
Mm-hmm.
They're like dried cherries and jalapenos or something.
Oh,
and the
man.
brats are so good.
I mean, I went in there yesterday. It was packed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, line. I didn't know.
I
it
go
got
get a
like
bag
that
of
at lunchtime.
pierogies, frozen pierogies, take them home.
Dude, you're killing me. You guys are killing me. I'm trying not to be fat.
Hey,
And after every podcast, I swear to God, I'm like,
cheat day today.
Yeah, cheat day.
today.
Wednesday cheat day.
I think, and then obviously you got the ones that everyone knows about, like Porzana and Spoon and Stable, and
We
all
don't
the,
have
like,
Porzana
North-
money, Austin. Come on.
no, we're not pro basketball players.
Once in, I've only been there twice in
I'm just kidding.
2 years.
I've heard Porzana's stellar.
It
Stellar.
is definitely way too expensive.
Yeah.
But it's good.
But
it's,
it's
worth
worth
the
the-
splurge.
it's
every
worth
It's a
the-
Daniel Del Prado restaurant, I think.
I'm gonna say this because since we're on the food thing, rest in peace, my favorite restaurant of all
Joni.
time, Young Joni.
When what?
It's
I lo-
going.
It's still
going
there.
Out, it's going out
In the fall.
So if you haven't been,
I've been there one time
Go
and
before
I
fall.
loved it.
Yeah. It's closing.
I think she is looking for new challenges, probably. Strikes me as that kind of person.
Well, you know they own the restaurant. There's a restaurant in Egan. You know where the Vikings training facility is?
Yeah.
There's a hotel right there next to it. And in that hotel, there's a
another
restaurant
joint.
called, I think, Kindred Hearts or something like that. And I think it's owned by the people that own Young Joni.
What in the old folks' home kind of name is Kindred Hearts?
I'm going to fact check that because I know they own the Pizza Lola.
Yeah.
I know the Kim's, the revamp of what was in Uptown is done.
Yeah, she's.
But it's good.
She's somewhat problematic too. But
We're not.
But we're not going to talk about
I
it.
don't need to discuss the people outside being like, free my fur, eat pita, like whatever.
That's not what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter.
I see people striking in front of Pizza Lola all the time.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm just trying to order a pizza, bro. Like,
Yeah. We have bigger fish to fry in the world. Bigger problems.
Yeah, man.
Literally.
Sometimes it's
Yes,
a very
right.
Macalester type situation.
Sure.
You learn in Macalester College. I went to a very small liberal arts college in St. Paul.
This is Macalester.
And
I know
It's
Macalester.
very small, by the way.
Yes.
It's smaller than St. Kate's. I didn't know that.
It's a small school.
Yeah.
But the knock on it was, man, Macalester students sometimes protest just to protest.
Yeah.
And I can't argue with that sometimes. And
Mm-hmm.
so sometimes when I see people protesting, you won't catch me saying this about like Gaza, right? Like, please share the word.
Right.
But sometimes I'm just like, man, this feels like a protest just to protest.
Yeah.
And the whole Anna Kim thing, at least what I experienced at Pizza Lola, felt like that.
Interesting.
I'm not sure what problematic stuff you're referring to.
Something different, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
irrelevant
So-
to this conversation.
Yeah, but amazing restaurant. Like
Yeah.
definitely, I think definitely my favorite restaurant since a place called, I'm not going to know the name.
And it's called Pizza Lola.
Pizza Lola
yeah.
is their other restaurant. and
Pizzeria
it's all the
Lola.
pizza there.
Yeah.
Which to me, their
It's
pizza's
on
phenomenal, but it's the worst thing on the menu over there.
Xerxes and like 54th or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, South Minneapolis.
South Minneapolis.
Borderline Richfieldy.
Close to Richfield, yeah.
But it's all the same pizza. And it's just as...
it's really good.
really
It's
good.
killer.
See, that's how I feel about this Kindred Hearts.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Is it
The people,
pizza?
They have pizza there, yeah.
So maybe it is.
Maybe it is, yeah.
And
Have
the
you been
name
to-
is definitely very
Is that
good.
really the name of it?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is.
It sounds like
It's an old folks home.
Yeah,
Have you
mean-
been to Rosalia yet for pizza?
that's good.
I think I have been
It's
there.
in
Linden
Linden
Hills.
Hills.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah. It's newer, but
It's good.
it's my favorite newer.
Either I've
pizza
been there
joint.
once or someone told me about it.
Sure.
People love them some Boluto for pizza
I
too.
love-
Okay. It's
dude.
okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Sometimes
I like
it can
it a
be like
lot.
a little too oily, but I do like the little salt.
That's the place that has the empanadas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
And they have like
Argentinian place.
the football shaped pizza where they
Yep.
put the
Yeah.
fresh mozzarella on
It's
the
pretty
crust.
good. It's
Yep.
pretty good.
Yep.
And the empanadas.
The empanadas are fine.
Stellar.
The empanadas are good. Empanadas are
We haven't talked about Boluto either.
Yeah, no, I mean there are too many restaurants in the
I
city
know.
to talk about them
The
all.
Hewing Hotel has a good restaurant in there. And it wasn't
Yes.
always like that. They changed something
Well, I
in there. I
know,
don't know if
they
they got a
did.
new chef or something like that, but the food there, I went there one time and I did like the little tasting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow.
Are you a hotel guy when you're in town here for a month at a time, or you stay with?
No, I'm actually staying with my buddy.
Okay.
My buddy Andre. I'm
Okay.
staying with him. With
What's-
Andre Hollins.
Oh,
So
different. Hollins.
no relation.
They thought
Same
you guys
spelling?
were brothers back in the day
Same city
at the
we're
U.
from.
Memphis?
Yeah.
You don't remember back at the U? They were like the Hollins twins. I remember that vividly from that era of University of Minnesota basketball because that might have been the last time the U was good.
Now, Austin,
Might have been.
it's gonna full disclosure something. I haven't paid attention to college basketball
Yeah, he's
since
not a college basketball guy.
and it's probably a blind spot for me, but like since I was in high school in the late 90s.
I mean, I haven't paid attention since I got out of school.
Okay,
It's like
there you go.
the first couple of years I watched because I knew people on the team. I'll check to see what Minnesota's doing, but I do not watch.
But
college
you
basketball.
play, right? That's different. That's like I don't listen to music.
Okay, that's fair.
Right?
That's fair. Yeah.
I don't even know anything about houses.
I know sometimes I'll drop because Casey's, a musician, right? And was at one time a decently prominent artist in the music world. And I'll drop I love Freddie Gibbs. I don't know if you listen
I like
to Freddie
Freddie
Gibbs.
Gibbs,
I
yeah.
love. He's like probably my favorite.
He's dope.
I'm like, wasn't he the lead singer of fucking ABBA or the Bee Gees?
Casey's like, Freddie who? And I'm like, you son of a bitch. He's like my favorite MC of the last decade, probably.
But then I'll go and listen to these things, by the way. Like
I
you were
know.
talking about Deltron 3030. You know Del the
Del the Funky Homo Sapien at all?
No.
He has a 25th anniversary album of his Deltron 3030 thing coming out. And I was like, all right, it was a little weird for me back in the day, but I'm going to give it a shot. And I listened to it. It's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
It's very like rhymer. I'm your favorite rhymer's rhymer.
I mean,
rhyme.
I count on my friends to show me new music
Yep.
sometimes. Like,
Yep.
I love when people send me music because then I don't have to go searching for it.
Yeah.
But there's only a few people I trust to send me music. Don't send me anything.
This guy.
Don't send me some trash. Don't send me any BS, please.
He'll send you. Check out this new album from Nas called Illmatic. I just heard it.
Funny guy.
Funny guy.
Funny guy. Well, I probably could sit here all day.
Oh yeah, man. We could shoot the shit all day, but we probably got stuff to do.
I was gonna say I could put my hoodie on and we can act like it's a new episode.
We could. I got to make an inspection on the east side at noon.
Oh, that's right, you do.
And get this thing bounced
I
out.
have to put out multiple real estate related fires in the next hour and a half, so I'm very excited about that.
Oh boy.
Go
Yeah.
Billy Joel on him, baby.
We didn't start
There we
the
go.
fire.
Thank
There
you,
we go.
Austin.
It was always burning.
I was like, where's he
since the
going with
world's been turning.
On that note,
Thanks.
y'all. See you next week.
This must be the place. Yeah, this must be the place.